Hey, discount tackle fans, Jimmy Lee here from Raw Fishing, and today I'm going to share with you a bait casting reel that is going to be easy for beginners to pick up and learn how to use the bait casting reel. And that is the new 2023 Daiwa Tatula 100. But before I get started, I want to ask you guys this question. Did you know that a magnetic braking reel such as this one here can be configured differently than one that uses a centrifugal braking? That's right, and Daiwa actually knows this, and they have found out that their reels could work best with zero tension. That's right, zero tension. You see, in order for someone to be proficient in a bait casting reel, you got to know a couple things. Obviously, you need to know how to use the tension knob and configure it. You need to know how to configure the braking module, okay? Whether it's magnetic or centrifugal. Centrifugal is the one where you have to open the side plate and play with the pins. And for the magnetic ones, all you have to do is manage the braking system via the external dial, such as this one right here. And lastly, you have to use your thumb. You have to use the thumb in many, many instances, okay? Obviously, you have a thumb bar right here. This is the clutch system that keeps the spool from spinning. And in order to cast, you have to hit this, disengage the spool. But when you disengage the spool, you have to hold the spool. And then when you cast, you have to rely on your timing and the swing on your rod, and you have to release your thumb. And when you release the thumb, your lure's gonna fly, and before the lure touches the water, you have to stop the spool from spinning before you create something called overspooling, which is backlashing. And then the most advanced one, which is the hardest one, is called feathering. Basically, you use your thumb while your lure is flying out, right? The spool is spinning, and you use it as a way to break and slow down the spool. That is the hardest thing for any beginners to learn, okay? And as you see, there is a lot of variables in order to learn a bait casting reel. And now I'm going to take a step back. Daiwa has helped eliminate one of those for you, and that is the tension knob. You see, they know that their reels could work best with zero tension. So factory tune for any reels, such as this one right here, the Tatula 100, that sports a zero tension adjuster knob, factory tune, okay? It's pre-tuned, and all you have to do is put line on here and go out and fish. And what that means is you can just put on the brakes very high and start practicing casting, practicing using your thumb. So yeah, I feel like Daiwa reels, such as this one right here, Tatula 100, is going to be easy for beginners to learn. Don't believe me? Let me show you. We're going to go to the pond right behind me and do some casting. What I have here is 12-pound monofilament spooled onto this reel, and I have a medium power rod, 7 foot. And what's important to know is that I am choosing a lure that's within the rod spec range. And the rod spec range for here is 1/4 ounce to 5/8 ounce. And what I have here is the new Z-Man, their Chatterspike soft plastic, which a lot of people use for the chatterbait, but you can also use it just like fishing a fluke. And I have their new ZWG hook. This is size 4 alt and 1/8 ounce. The total weight of this rig here is 3/8 ounce, so it's definitely within range. So let's get out there and let's do a few casts. All right, so everyone, I am at the cast testing pond, and I have turned my brake dial all the way to 20, and once again, the tension knob came out of the box untuned, so we're gonna do some casting. We're gonna do the simple back and forth cast just like that, or sometimes I'll do roll cast, okay, which is basically kind of draw a circle on the hand, and it's all about timing. So if you're new to bait casting, this is something that you gotta do. You gotta figure out the timing of when to let go your thumb. So anyway, I feel that the side casts like these and underhand roll casts are easier. Timing for overhand cast is terrible because if you let go wrong, what happens is the lure gets smacked right in front of you just like that, and you may not have enough time to hit the spool, and therefore you create a crazy backlash or bird nest, okay? So I would suggest not to do any sort of overhand cast if you're a beginner. Side cast, because if you mess up your side cast, the timing wrong, well, your lure can still fly out, and it takes time before it hits the water, and you could thumb it and then just reel it back in. Now that I passed the awesome tip to y'all, we're gonna do some side casting. And once again, we are gonna do 20 breaks, and I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna cast hard as I can, and we're not gonna overspool. But before I cast, I wanna let you know there's 2 ways to overspool. The first one is timing your thumb, right? So the lure, right before it touches the water, you have to use your thumb to stop the spool. The second one is if you set your brakes very low, and during the initial cast, when you cast very hard, the spool spins the fastest, and it may overspool. And that's why feathering your spool is gonna be the key for a pro angler. But I'm not gonna teach you how to feather the spool today. I'm just telling you where the backlash happens. So with 20 breaks, likely that won't happen. And I'm gonna prove it, okay? So if you're a hard caster and you feel like you overpowering on cast and right away when you cast there's a bird nest, likely it is because you're casting too hard for the break setting, okay? So we are cast this very, very hard right now with max breaks, 0 tension. So as you saw, it did not backlash at all. It didn't blow up. And now I'm gonna change it up. I'm actually gonna put the brakes very low and I'll show you exactly what I mean by the blow up, but I will feather it, but you will hear the bird nest because what happened is it's trying to bunch up, but I put my thumb very, very close to the spool and it's gonna prevent it from blowing up super big, right? And it slows it down and hopefully while the lure is still carrying out, it'll fix itself. So I'm gonna put this like, let's say 8 and I'm gonna cast hard as I can, okay? Ooh, you guys kind of heard a little bit and I put my thumb on it, like it went just like that. That was a little overspooling, but as you saw, the distance is really, really well. In order for you to cast like that, to be proficient far cast, you have to learn how to feather that, okay? But yeah, so that cast right there was, once again, 8 breaks compared to 20 breaks, which is very, very impressive. So what I want to do is I'm gonna do like 14 breaks and I'm gonna cast hard as I can, see what will backlash at the beginning. Nope, did not at all. And bam. This is so easy. So yeah, I really think that this reel here is gonna be perfect for beginners as it'll allow you to focus on the casting motion, the timing of the thumbing, and eventually, once you get really, really good with the timing of thumbing the spool before the lure hit the water, you can focus on lowering the brakes and try to attempt feathering the spool when you're casting. Very, very easy. I'm so impressed with this reel. I can't wait to go fish it. So what do you think? Easy to learn? Now, although this reel here says 0 tension adjuster knob, you could still tighten it a little bit more if you want to, and that will help beginners if you feel like it's still spinning too fast. But if you want to reset this, you guys can check the link in the description below. I'll have a link on how to factory reset your spool just in case if you want to tighten it or loosen it, or if you just want to fiddle with it. I know I went to ICAST 2023 and I was playing around with this reel here, and they had a lot there for the on-the-water testing. And guess what? A lot of people did not know how this reel works and how the 0 tension adjuster knob is supposed to be used for. And a lot of reels, or should I say 100% of the reels at ICAST, they were all set wrong. So yeah, you want to check out the video if you want to learn how to adjust this. But yeah, you could definitely tighten it if you really need to. But I think the way that I portrayed how this reel works, you should be able to be on your way to master your thumb and cast a big casting reel. If you want to learn more about this reel or you want to purchase this, I've left a link to Discount Tackle where you get this reel. The fish don't wait. Thank you for watching. Until next time, practice your thumb mastery and cast that bait caster.